What's going on, babe?
Hey, babe, how was your day?
It was actually pretty productive. Happy to be home.
Good. You know, we got a game today. Honey, you're a little rough around the edges.
I'm saying, I've been working all night, taking care of business, getting to the... You know what? I don't even want to talk about it. I got you. I'm not trying to be out here looking like a dusty, and that's why I'm excited to have T. Chanley as a sponsor of today's video. They help me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which come with all of the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My favorite part about T. Chanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. In addition to amazing skin, members of T. Chanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price and the ability to customize your box. And because T. Chanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description. You'll get 30% off your first box plus a free gift. Click the link and get started today. We're taking care of ourselves. Self-care, fellas, is the first step to be able to get to that bag, to take care of business, and be on top of things and level up in every aspect of your life. Feel the Teej, my friends. What's going on? It's Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. What's going on, family? What is the word? Thunderbird. That's what the old school players used to say. What's the word? Thunderbird. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for tapping into the Millionaire Morning Show. Let me make sure I got my phones and that everything is correct and that they silenced. So the people ain't trying to chase me down. What's going on, family? I've been active on Twitter, dropping new TikToks and Instagrams, and I just dropped a new Instagram photo today and everything. What's going on, fam? How y'all feel? I feel phenomenal. I'm going to tell you why I feel phenomenal. Shout out to Lil Black Duck. Lil Black Duck says, good morning, bag chasers. Brand new week, brand new opportunities, and don't forget to drop a like and a bucket on your way in the door. Shout out to Lil Black Duck for holding me down. Shout out to everybody that continues to ensure that the platform goes up, that we're incredibly successful, that everything is set, and that we get to that bag. So let me give y'all a little bit of insight on what my life is like, why I'm in such a good mood, and why you should too. Aw, see, you under the weather? Aw. Good morning, B, C. Give me every letter of the alphabet and we gonna be good today. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Give me every letter of the alphabet with all of my bag chasers and we gonna be good today. Persevere Data TV says that Charleston Interview was fire. Facts. Facts. The Charleston White interview is fire. I dropped the entire interview inside of the Patreon unedited. Unedited. The entire interview is inside of the Patreon unedited. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat for those of you that want to check that out. I'm going to be honest with you, Persevere Data TV. Right now, it's looking like I may not drop the full interview for a month. Simply because we got too much content. And then I got other content creators that I'm actually shooting content with right now. I got more people coming into town to come and kick it with your boy. I got the content creation studio popping off. We got construction going on over there. because we got to segment it off for the different shows that we're going to be shooting in there. I got so much in store for my bag chaser. So shout out to all of the Patreon members, everybody that continues to rock with me and is benefiting tremendously as a result of joining the Patreon. So that link is in the description again, and as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And I just want to let you guys know that when you join the Patreon, make sure that you work your way up and go through all of the videos. There's hours and hours and hours and hours of content. So many different things for you to tap into, from your ability to be able to tap into a mastermind session, marketing yourself effectively, building a business, making sure that you structure your calendar the way that executives structure their calendar, breaking down and helping you to understand exactly how it is that I live my day, taking you through that process, showing you my W-2, mastermind sessions, live meetups. I got a meetup that's coming up in 2.5 weeks now? It's crazy. We got so much popping off, and now we starting to get into exclusive content with other big content creators such as Charleston White. That interview was in there before we ever drop it to the general public. The general public right now is just getting the little clips now, and they're going to get the shorts and all that other type of stuff. But the bag chasers, they get the whole shebang. We don't hold nothing back from y'all. So we do have a live meetup. I'm going to post more details about that today inside of the Patreon. Okay. And then more things to come. So shout out to the bag chasers continuing to do the work, continuing to win. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Spaces says that Charleston White interview was too fire. I think the full interview should be a Patreon exclusive. He spoke much realness, not one fallacy spoken. You know the interesting about that? The interesting thing is about that? The interesting thing about that is that I believe that I pull the best out of him. Because the way that I interview people, or the way that I'm going to have my content and the things that I'm going to ask the people, is more geared towards what it is that we're trying to solve for, as well as getting more understanding as to how certain people think, right? We don't want to live in an echo chamber. I'm not interested in the same questions that they ask, and I'm not interested in the same questions that everybody else is trying to mine out for all of the clicks and the views and stuff. I'm interested in tapping into the true nature of what a person is. And it's funny because when you talk to these content creators, thank you Spaces for the contribution. When you talk to these content creators and you talk to these famous people, and again, I'm not interested in having certain people on my platform. I'm only mining for the best of the best. When you have these content creators and the things like that on your platform, and you have an opportunity to interview them and have conversations, and it's funny because I may be at the BET Awards. Don't tell nobody that. Shh. We're going to go and find out what the Blackity Blacks is really, really doing out here in these streets. That's a whole nother conversation. Patreon members, I'm going to tell you all about that later. But if you have conversations with these people and you build relationships, because I have relationships that I build, right? And you have these conversations with people, often at times what you'll find is that they hate dealing with the kinds of questions that they deal with when it comes to certain other platforms. They hate the basic stuff. They want you to deep dive into who they truly are in their heart. And I tap into that. I'm interested in having a deeper conversation with the people so that I can actually give information to my people, not just entertainment. Right? But again, those are conversations and things that we gonna tap into later. But we getting there. We working on it. So again, shout out to the bag chasers. If you guys are interested in joining a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in, make sure you click the link that's in the description or pinned to the top of the chat for you to be able to tap into the bag chasers. And we going to continue to do the work. Make sure you get into the Discord also. All right. So in addition to that, what did I want to talk about? It was something else one of the reasons why I'm excited this morning. So I'm up. I'm winning. And it's very sad. Shout out to Tej Hanley. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. The link is in the description for that. I appreciate you, Tej Hanley, for holding us down. I'm up. I've been up for so long. Life is absolutely awesome. And I'm very excited because I had an opportunity to see my daughter off of school this morning. Now, I'm going to drop the link in the description, or a link pinned to the top of the chat. The link is in the description for you guys to be able to cam up later on in the show. Don't cam up right this minute. Anything you have questions about, you want to comment about something that I'm talking about, you got a question for me, you'll be more than welcome to be able to jump in on the platform, have your camera on and good lighting, okay? So I'm giving y'all an opportunity for that now. I'm instituting that as a part of the show going forward, okay? But I had an opportunity to see my daughter off to high school. So it's her first day of high school today. And I was just so thankful. Like, real talk. My conversation that I had with God this morning was one of praise and thanks for being able to see my daughter grow and participate in her life since her existence. I was the very first person to hold her. And, you know, I said that I was only going to have one and be able to pour every single thing I have into it. Over this weekend, I had the opportunity to see her go and get her hair done, and then she go get her nails done and then a pedicure, and she making sure she got her drip, and then she went and she was focused on her homework and having her room clean so that her desk was ready. And we was talking, and I was talking to her, and I said, Leslie, listen, you know that I've always been your number one fan. I'm always the guy that's always going to ensure that you're successful. I know you got a new frontier that you're going through, and you're going to go through some things. You're going to have some successes. You're going to have some failures. And this is the conversations that I was having with my daughter, and I regularly have them, right? And I said, you're going to have some successes. You're going to have some failures. There's some peer pressure and some things that you can go through. But the one thing that me and you have always had is we've always had a personal connection to where you can tell me anything because you know that my whole goal is to ensure that you're great and you're successful. And she said, Dad, you taught me everything I need to know. My goal right now is to make sure that you save some money. I said, save some money for what? What you talking about? She says, because when I get this scholarship, you ain't even going to have to pay for me to go to college. So then you can reward yourself with that new Rolls Royce that they're going to come out with when I graduate. I said, this girl is too much. This girl is too much. She said, my goal is to make sure that I ensure that you ain't even got to pay for me to go to college at this point. I said, girl, I love you. So that's my baby girl. That's my heart. I love her. I love her with everything I have in me. And I was telling Rita this morning, I said, yo, you know, we got like 10 more years. And she said, what? I said, we got 10 more years. And she said, how you figure that? She only in high school for 4. I said, but then we got another 4. And this was before I talked to Leslie. I said, we got another 4 for her to go to college, and then possibly another 2 if she want to get, you know, go to graduate school and everything like that. And we were just very, very, very much in a celebratory mood because she has opportunities. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to let her fail or we're not going to teach her to certain things, but she has opportunities that me and her mother had to overcome in order to get there. And I'm always confused as to why people are not doing the best thing for themselves, because the best version of you was the best version of y'all. Then you are empowered to be able to give. If you're not doing it for yourself, do it for the people that depend on you. I'm always perplexed when I'm having conversations with people and I'm on panels or different discussions and people are willing to die for nothing. Nothing. Or they willing to do the things that are the most egregious that affects the people that surround them. Because let's be clear, when you die, it don't matter. The people that's going to suffer are your friends and your kids and your family and your wife, and you ain't got no life insurance. You ain't got no regular insurance. You ain't got no car insurance. You ain't got no kind of way in which you going to pay for things. Y'all suffering right here, right now. You ain't got no vision for a future. You want somebody to get up under you and submit to you, and you won't have nothing. You ain't got no backbone. You ain't got no work ethic. You don't have anything. And the only thing that you care about is getting more pussy. You broke, you dusty. You got everything you need, but none of the things that you're using is actually propelling you to be successful. And everybody is dependent on you when you failing them. You ain't failing you failing them. Every day you fail them. When we gonna step up? When we gonna do things differently? When is the conversation going to be enough? I got to entertain you. I got to throw on this robe, not only because the robe feel good, because you can't hear the fucking message unless I got on all of this trinkets and the glasses and the jewelry and the gold and the robes and all of this shit. I got to put the medicine and the candy every fucking day because you can't hear what's best for you and you're not going to seek out the thing that is good for you. You got to actually be coaxed and tricked into doing the thing that's best for you. The general media and rappers and these brands and retailers and homeowners and banks, they've been tricking you for your entire fucking life. And now I got to take the same approach that they take in order to ensure that you do the thing that's best for you so you can stop depending on government and assistance and aids and all of this dumb shit just to make sure that you can do the things that's best for you. It's in your own best interest. It's in your daughter's best interest. It's in the people that depend on you best interest. I got to fucking do a water wave every fucking day just so I can make sure that I give you the thing that you need in order to be successful. When is the conversation itself going to be enough? When am I going to be able to just put something general across the board as a title for that to be enough for you to step in and do the thing that you're supposed to do, for you to actually seek out the thing that's best for you? Libraries fucking empty every day. The club is popping though. I gotta create a show. That's the whole inception of Fight Club. I had to create a show in order to keep you in past 12 o'clock so that you don't get yourself fucked up in these streets. And you still complain and whine about it. You still think that you can hold me accountable when I'm up. See, the difference between you and I is that my daughter's college is already paid for. It's already funded. $500,000 is already put up to ensure that she ain't never gonna have to worry about who is in office in order to try to forgive her student loans. That's the goal, is to become better than the people that was before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, not just the people that's in my own family, but the people that came before me that fought for my freedom, that ensured that I had opportunities. You standing on the shoulders of giants and you think that you have to have a conversation with every fucking body. But in reality, the only thing that you have to do is do what you're supposed to do so that you don't become a burden. And then people can then use you as an asset or a resource for the thing that's actually best for you. Maybe you can help somebody else, but you can't do nothing from nobody if you dusty and disgusted. That's not the move. And so now I'm coming in as a father figure. Let's be clear. It's exactly what it is. I'm coming in as a father figure so I can try to pour into you and ensure that you get the thing that's best for you. I could sit here and have a conversation and do a show on Lizzo and have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 fucking people in here by continuing to do the thing that's the most popular. But no, I make the sacrifice so that I can ensure that you get the thing that you need in order to be successful. And you still fucking complain about it. I'm not asking you to give me anything. When people say, Anton, what can I then do for you because you've helped me so much? I say regularly, the only thing you can do for me is to continue to do for you. Pour into yourself. Because at some point, I may need you to be a part of my network, and then we together as fully functional, prospering adults can then take over the world and we can make an impact on people. But you got to get yourself together. You got to focus. You got to get it. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for your daughter. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for your son. Do it for the people that's dependent on. Find somebody that you can look at and post a picture on your mirror every day and say, I do it for you. I don't do it for myself. It's a lot of people facing eviction out here. It's a lot of people facing eviction out here. Real talk. I'm going to be honest with you. Let me give you the numbers, okay? The Census Bureau. Matter of fact, I'm not even going I'm not going to give you my thoughts. I'm going to let you see it for yourself. The Census Bureau specifically is saying that 3.8 million renters are likely to be evicted in the next 2 months. Shout out to Alvin S. I appreciate you. Says, preaching real good. It's offering time. No chicken dinners over here. Shout out to Alvin S. Thank you for the 10 ball. Thank you for everybody that contribute in super chats, cash apps, PayPals. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to acknowledge you throughout the show. And again, remember that the link to be able to cam up, first of all, the link to the Patreon is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. The link to be able to cam up if you have a question for me specifically is also in the description. And as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and pin that to the top of the chat too. Thank you, Alvin S. I appreciate you. Give me a second. Let me throw that in there. Let me throw it in there. Just in case you guys got a question for me. You will be able to have a question. All right? We can have a discussion. I want to make myself more available to the people because I don't want this to just be in an echo chamber. So I'll replace the message that's pinned to the top of the chat with your ability to be able to tap in with me. All right? So we got that popping. Let's get back to it. So the Census Bureau says that 3.8 million renters will likely be evicted in the next 2 months. And this is why the rental crisis keeps getting worse. Now, I also have an article that I read this morning that highlighted how we're starting to really fall into a recession when it comes to the housing market in general. Not just renters, but your ability to even be able to pay for a house. We have inflation skyrocketing. Listen, inflation has been killing you for so long that you're just used to it now. It's become your normal. You are so used to hearing about inflation that it doesn't even faze you anymore. Let's go into the article. For the first time ever, the median rent, the first time ever, pay attention to what's being said right here. For the first time ever, that's a big statement right there. First time ever, the median rent in the U.S. topped $2,000 a month in June. And the increases show no sign of stopping. The median rent for the first time in history topped $2,000. That is just the middle. Depending on where you live at in United States of America, then you can start to say it's higher or it's lower or it's much higher or it's much lower. At least 2,000. Now, I'm sure somebody is going to tell me, Anton, you can get by on $40,000 a year. Okay, cool. So let's deal with averages. So if you're telling me we can get by on $40,000 a year, first you're going to have to help me to understand after taxes, that goes down significantly. But on top of that, your rent costs for the year on average, since y'all like to say averages, is going to be $24,000 a year. $24,000 on average in the United States of America is what you're going to be contributing to rent alone. I don't care if you got a mortgage, whatever. Either way, you're going to be paying close to $2,000 at least. So that leaves you after taxes with what? $10,000 for the rest of the year? That's gas, car, food. Don't worry about it. We're going to get into it. Those rising rents mean households representing a total of 8.5 million people were behind on their rent. 8.5 million people were behind on their rent at the end of August. You know we at the end of August, right? I just want to make sure that we all understand what's going on here. You know we at the end of August, right? 8.5 million people were behind on their rent at the end of August. according to Census Bureau figures. This is not my opinion. This is not some random study. This is the Census Bureau, and 3.8 million of those renters, because we ain't even got to the other 8.5. We just going to do a little less than half. 3.8 million of those renters say they're somewhat or very likely to get evicted in the next 2 months. And those are the ones that don't even have enough pride. They just telling you the real, listen, it's tough out here. I'm about to get evicted. The combination of soaring inflation, don't worry about that. I know y'all have gotten used to that word. We're going to continue to beat that dead horse. And the end of eviction, end of the most eviction moratoriums and rental assistance payments, y'all are on the government's titty like no generation before you. Look at you. You have become a nation that is dependent on the federal government. See, a lot of people thought that, Anton, you're complaining about student loan forgiveness because you're jealous. Well, that would mean that I would be jealous of the people that got stimulus payments too, right? Because listen, get what you can get, but at the same time, help me to understand how you're not creating a narrative for yourself for you to not solve for the root of the issue and not being dependent on the government in the first place, and you just getting a little bit of a handout. You got a hand job from the government. You ain't even get no sex. Yo, you didn't even get Gawk 3000. You got a hand job from the government. All they did was keep you on a string so that they can continue to milk you and make you dependent on them, which allows for them to then control the narrative and determine who's going to be in office and who doesn't, and then be able to push through whatever it is that they... Listen, if you look at most of these bills, ladies and gentlemen, you're not reading the bills. You're looking at the highlights. You're looking at the cliff notes. I need you to read the whole book. What's going on in these bills is that they're passing so many different things that they like to see in there that you have no clue or you have no understanding what's in there. We got a $31 trillion debt, and you're trying to figure out why inflation is so high. The value of your money diminishes every single day. You have these content creators that's telling you to save money. And how's that been working for you your entire life? So then I come with a completely different narrative and I say, okay, well, let's do something a little different. Let me teach you how I did it. Let's continue. The combination of soaring inflation, the end of most eviction moratoriums, and the rental assistance payments all sound like people that are running in the victim Olympics to me. And an extremely low vacancy rate, which means that there is no availability of the places that you want to live at. And even if it was, you couldn't afford to live there, has pushed rents up and many renters out. Let's continue. Rents are up nearly 25% since before the pandemic. Before we get into this, because I got a whole video for you. We going to mine this thing out. Since 2006, rents have risen faster than home prices, but at the same time, the shortage of available rental units has been steadily increasing since the Great Recession. Now we got an even greater recession on our hands. And the way that you think that it makes sense for you, and the reason why you're not paying attention to it, is because you're still working. But you don't notice you're still falling behind. We're going to break that down too. Why Americans are going broke and leaning on more debt than ever before. I'm going to give you a solution too. I don't just talk about the problems. I also talk about the solutions. In the year before the pandemic, the country recorded a shortage of 7 million affordable housing units, basically projects for low-income renters. So now, you remember how we used to laugh and we used to listen to all of the rappers and they talked about how they was from the projects and the PJs and all of that type of stuff? That's going to be you. Welcome. That's going to be you. Because you refuse to do the thing that's in your own best interest. You don't want to make the sacrifice now and stay down for the next few years so that you can then come up and do whatever you want to do for the rest of your life. Because let's be clear, there is going to be a division of classes. You're so busy focused on a race war and a gender war and all of these other type of wars that you don't even realize that the real war is being fought with your money. It's your money.
It is. Bro, listen, you can't do anything. You can't go to the movies with your family without spending $100. You can't go anywhere. You can't go to a baseball game unless your team is absolutely trash and they trying to throw away the tickets. The only thing you're going to be able to do with your family going forward is going to the fucking WNBA game. You're going to have to go to a WNBA game. You're going to have to run it. Go and watch them chicks play that trash basketball game and be bored out of your mind because you can't go to a You know what I sold I sold a pair of tickets this weekend because the tickets. So I went through my schedule and I said, okay, not available here, not available here. I got stuff to do on this day, but I'm going to probably make about 20 out of the 42, 43 games, including preseason this year, right? For the Pistons, right? And I sold a pair of tickets and I showed them on Fight Club. And I sold a pair of tickets, for example, to a game that I wasn't going to be able to attend for $3,000 a piece. So I got $6,000 for one game. Prices are egregious. Now you can get in the stadium, but you're going to be sitting all the way up in the nosebleeds, and make sure that you take some Dramamine so your ears don't pop. I'm just being real. Listen, if you want to actually have a life that's worth living, then you can truly have the experiences, because I'm going to be honest with you. The stuff is cool, but the experiences are awesome. It's awesome talking shit on that court to them people. It's awesome getting DeMarcus Cousins in his feelings. I told him last year, I said, you ain't even going to be in the league next year. Dude, he got a contract? Does DeMarcus Cousins got a contract? Do he? You're going to be going to little league games instead of going to NBA basketball. You used to be able to take your family to a baseball game. Now, you know what's happening? Baseball players are making $500 million because of inflation, and the cost of doing business is sky high. You can't do nothing. You can't even fucking play video games without them billing you every month just to be able to play with other people. You can't do nothing. You got to have an internet connection, all of that. Let's continue. So now y'all going to be living in the projects. All right. Creating a crisis that left 37 affordable rental homes for every 100 low-income households looking to rent. And the homes that are available are still often out of reach. The rent rates are up nearly 25% since the pandemic, with an increase of 15% in just the past 12 months. You can't even beat the rate of inflation when it comes to housing. According to real estate tracking service Zillow, evictions are up too. According to Eviction Lab at Princeton University, I didn't even know Princeton had an eviction lab. In August, evictions were 52% above average in Tampa, 90% above average in Houston, and 94% above average in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Dog, do you know how cold it is in Minneapolis? Minneapolis is so fucking cold. Let me tell you, because I've been all over this country. Minneapolis is so cold that their downtown, every single building in downtown Minneapolis is connected so that you don't have to walk outside in the wintertime. That's how cold Minneapolis is. And they got a 94% above average eviction rate happening in Minneapolis and St. Paul. You know how cold it's going to be over there? Winter is coming. Winter is coming. While the federal government has distributed the bulk of pandemic-related rental assistance grants on Biden's titty, some states and cities have been slow to make the money available to landlords on behalf of the tenants who can't pay their rent. As of May, National Low Income Housing Coalition reported that 12 states and the District of Columbia, D.C., had distributed half of their last assistance allocation, while Idaho, Iowa, and Ohio hadn't spent any of that money. 2 states, Nebraska and Arkansas, refused to accept the federal rent assistance money, and so you're going to be out on your face even if you was on a government titty. Nebraska and Arkansas said, fuck you. Get out. We don't care nothing about you. Get on up out of here. We don't care about your government stimulus. You out of here. You getting up out of there. We don't care nothing about that. You on the streets, homie. You, your kids, your mama. We don't care how much you protested. We don't care about none of that. Get the fuck out of my house. That's what they said. We don't care nothing about you. Annual median household income for all renters is about 42. Jesus fucking Christ. Think about this, y'all. Annual median household. Let me highlight that for y'all. The annual median household income for all renters in the U.S. is $42,500. That's what y'all keep telling me, right? Every single day, y'all hit me with the ooh-op shebang and y'all say, Anton, you can live and support a family on $40,000 a year. I'm not going to let it go because y'all tried to hold me accountable and y'all tried to say I was out of touch. Cool. The annual median household income for all renters in the U.S. is about $42,000, according to Zillow, 37% lower than the national median income of $67,500, which means that the average rental price is $2,000 a month and it's continuing to go up. It's going to continue to go up. Your raise is not keeping up with the rate of inflation when it comes to housing. So that means that you're going to spend $24,000 of your money in rent. And this is 42 before the 12% tax. So let's just go ahead and cut that down to 38. 24 coming out. So you got 14 left. Listen, I'm not the smartest or the sharpest tool in the toolbox, but my mental math is on point when it starts talking about that bag talk. You got $14,000 for the rest of the year to figure out how to even pay your utilities, to get your internet cut on so you can come on here and watch the Millionaire Morning Show. You got to feed yourself. You're going to be complaining at the gas pump. You got to get a high interest rate on your credit card, student loans, and your car note. And that's how they keep you tethered to the government titty. Because they sold you on the idea that you don't have to make enough money and you could just be a regular everyday folk because you technically in the middle class and you think it's cool to continue to still run in this same race that's going backwards. You on a treadmill and then the treadmill is on a car that's in reverse. It doesn't get any more descriptive than that. You're on a treadmill. And you getting tired, and your knees is hurting, and your hip about to go out. So eventually, you're going to fall off the fucking treadmill that's on a tow truck that's in reverse. This is some real life shit for you. This is real life. This ain't me telling you what you want to hear. This ain't me giving you no oohs and ahs. I'm not. This is a real. This is what they used to call in church that fire and brimstone sermon. You know, when the preacher would come up there and he say, everybody fucking going to hell. Stop sucking dick in the audience. I'm sorry. I should have warned y'all that I was going to say that. And then the chick in the back that just got done giving that gawk 3,000 last night because she was for the streets last night and now she trying to get herself together in the church today. She feeling guilty. And so now she going to go have a strong talk with her boyfriend and he going to be looking at her like, why the fuck you keep going to these churches that's messing up my gawk 3,000? And then he going to go on a YouTube panel and he going to tell us about how these modern women are not submissive anymore. This is the cycle. This is the cycle. This is the fire and brimstone conversation when it comes to money. When you was in church and then you went to church and they said, everybody going to hell that keep on sucking dick every Saturday night. And then your girl feeling some type of way. So she going to come home and say, hey, we need to get ourselves together and we need to get married and all of that. And you going to be mad. And so you going to come on Fight Club that same night and you're going to say, I'm fucking tired of these women and not being submissive. Why do I have to make more money in order for them to be submissive? I can make $40,000 a year. It doesn't matter if we live in squalor and we getting shut off notices every day. Why they shouldn't be submissive? This is what happens. This is the cycle. This is how you find yourself on the outs. Because the majority of marriages dissolve and the majority of relationships end over money. It's not cheating. It's not cheating. Trust me. There's more women that stays loyal if a dude is cheating, but he making sure he bringing in that bag. She said, I'd rather cry in the Benz than the Corolla. You know, a Corolla is one of the most popular vehicles. I'm getting off track. Let me continue. Shout out to Marcel. Thank you for the fat ball. That's for my swear jar. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm telling y'all, I'm working on it, but it just don't hit the same. And I was telling Rita this. I said, it don't hit the same when you say, you got to get yourself together. No, get your fucking life in order. It's a difference. Now you feeling it. You feeling a certain type of way. Have y'all ever seen a preacher cuss on a pulpit? It will change your life. You like, it hits you like a ton of bricks, but it wake you up. You over there yawning. Shout out to Ronnie. I appreciate you for the $1.99, my dog. Real talk. So anyways, let's continue. Let's finish this off and then we're going to jump into the video, okay? And then again, the link for y'all to be able to cam up and have a conversation with me is pinned to the top of the chat as well as in the description. Let's continue. As of early August, the Census Bureau, more bad news for y'all, reported that while 56% of renters had household incomes of less than $50,000, that's why everybody mad at me. Keep typing in the chat, Anton, you out of touch. No, you out of touch. 24% of renters surveyed were paying more than $2,000 a month in rent. So they're not even getting the project price. They getting the Fisher price. Nearly half of all renters, more than 30 million people, had been hit with rent hikes in the past 12 months, with 19% paying a monthly increase of $100 to $250, 7% paying $250 to $500, and more than 4% needing to find you got to find another $500 a month. Meaning you probably going to be on the one doing that gawk 3,000. Look, you used to look down on people that was doing sex work. Now you thinking about it. Because you keep seeing these chicks getting $40 in their Cash App saying, I need to pay this extra $500 a month because I want my kids to go to a good school. Are you willing to pay the price for it, ma'am? To meet higher rents, 57% of renters said they relied on credit cards, loans, savings, or selling off some assets, including raiding their retirement accounts. Do you know, and y'all have seen me talk about this, despite that 14% of renters told the survey they weren't completely caught up on rent. Do you know that one of the ways in which I'm buying the majority of my property and land right now, because I've been patient over the last 2.5 to 3 years, one of the ways in which I'm prospering off of what's going on in the economy right now is because there are people in distress. And women, it's mostly women, going through divorces, losing their jobs and all of this stuff. They tapped the real estate agent. They said, I need my money and I need it now. Ain't that, what was that, J.G. Wentworth? Y'all ever seen the J.G. Wentworth? I want my money and I want it now. They don't want to wait on no transactions. So Anton, give them a little bit of nipple. I give them a few ducats to get themselves over. I said, listen, we're going to do this deal. Sign this paper like Tupac did to Suge Knight, and we're going to get this new property popping off because I know you out here struggling. You decided that you wanted to walk away from your man. You ain't know it was going to be this hard, and he said, I ain't taking you back, so now you got to give me your property. It's cool. It's cool. Suge Knight and these hoes out here in these streets. They sign it over. I give them what they need, and then they hit me back up. They said, Tom Dog, you know, I got some more property I was holding out on you for. I said, okay, cool. I'd do anything. I said, no, I don't want it. They said, no, we're going to give you the 2 for 1. I said, yeah, I want everything. That's the harsh reality. That's the fire and brimstone. Let's get into this video, y'all, because y'all gonna be like, Anton is out here taking advantage of these women. They taking advantage of themselves. They're taking advantage of themselves.
$16.15 trillion. That is how much debt American households owed by the second quarter of 2022. A staggering 41.79% increase from $11.39 trillion just 10 years prior.
The consumers that have a whole lot of debt really are struggling to meet rent or mortgage payments, repay college loans.
Look at that. Look at the audience. Look at every single person. Again, this video was literally just dropped a day ago. Look at all the people that are in the audience. What do you see? What do you see? Listen. We're going to have a real conversation tonight or today. When you look into that audience, what do you see? What is the common theme? It's not race. It's not age. It's not income bracket. You got it. You got it. You got it. That government titty. That government titty is in the building. Look at them. They're all creeds, all ages. I see a woman over there that got to be a good 65 years old. You with me? Y'all with me? Link to the Patreon is in the description. Tap in.
Pay loans for a car. They're struggling because they've got enormous credit card debt.
60% of American adults surveyed cited their level of debt as their main reason for financial anxiety.
Debt is rising every single day, and it is something that I can say is debilitating.
Whoa. I had to move myself out of the way to see what her number was. And I ain't talking about her phone number. I'm not talking about her body count. I said what her number was. Let's look at that again.
Financial anxiety.
Debt is rising every single day.
$240,000 in debt. She's a fucking social worker. $250,000 in debt. And she's a social worker, ladies and gentlemen. Are you not paying attention? Listen, it's not just black women. This woman is very much just got out of the tanning booth, and this is as dark as she can get. This is as dark as she can get. She's going to tap into a man, and she's going to be looking for him to save her, because when he get married to her, then her debts become his debts. She's a social worker. Over $240,000 in debt. This whole video that I'm showing you right now is why Americans are more in debt than any other time in history. Let's let this modern woman give us her perspective and her view, and let's see how flawed. I have not seen this video. Somebody sent it to me this morning. I said, okay, let's deal with it. Let's give them that fire and brimstone. Shout out to Real says, damn, Anton, pass this 5 on to her. No, we're not giving it to her. We putting this into the good use. We're going to get some content creation. We're going to get some bag chasers. We're going to get some better cameras. And the only thing we're going to do is we're going to shine that flashlight on her.
And it is something that I can say is debilitating. For me, even with a master's degree and having experience out in the field for over 10 years, I've had to have at least 3 jobs in order to not live paycheck to paycheck.
But
she's got a master's degree. Let's break this down, y'all. Master's degree. Is this not the formula? Listen, this is the Victim Olympics kit. The Victim Olympics starter kit right here. Get you a high-end degree. You can even get a master's degree. That means you got an extra star on your kit. Get you a nice house, have a nice presentation, and then make sure that you're running the Victim Olympics, and then get you a sign ready so you can go out there and protest the Biden, Elizabeth Warren, and then every other politician and try to forgive your student loans. Shout out to Dude with Locks says, just became a member of the Patreon. Shout out to Dude. Bag Chasers. Can we get a round of applause for Dude with Locks? Thank you, my friend, for continuing to do the thing that's in your best interest. Make sure you check out that last post, and that last video is lit, big dog. Yeah. Shout out to Tyrone Simpson. Says winter is coming for these females. Winter is already here, Tyrone. I'm telling you.
Not live paycheck
Thank you, my
to
friend.
paycheck.
But with inflation at its 40-year high, debt in America will likely grow. 43% of Americans are expected to add even more debt within the next 6 months.
Woo!
Debt is financing asset purchases, such as a home, such as a car.
Mm-hmm.
And when the price of these goods goes up, then it gets reflected in the loans that get taken out.
And it's that juggling effect, right? Do I pay off this debt, or do I go get groceries or go get gas, the things that I need to actually live?
So why are so many Americans in debt today? And what impact does it have on the US economy? The COVID pandemic gave many Americans a chance to improve their finances. The total personal savings rate since the pandemic averaged 12.6%, compared to just 7.25% between the Great Recession and February 2020. Americans also paid off a record $83 billion in credit card debt in 2020.
To help
So keep that in mind. As we continue to go through this video, let's keep this in mind, because Americans paid off a record $83 billion in credit card debt at the start of the pandemic. They said, we're going to do the thing that's in our best interest. We getting these STEMI checks. We getting these PPP loans. We're going to take care of business. Huh? We're going to pay it off. So now the question then becomes, how do people then find themselves back into the same position or even worse than it was before they started paying off this debt? Let's continue.
People weather this historic crisis. All sorts of supports were extended. They offered forbearance on mortgages, on student loans, other types of debt.
When one set of my student loan payments were paused, I was able to breathe. So even with
It was a false sense of security. They paused the student loans. Y'all all celebrated. Let me tell y'all what happened. They paused the student loans. Y'all celebrated. You voted Biden into office. And then now you don't feel any sense of relief because it gave you a false sense of security. It didn't actually help you because you didn't take advantage of what was presented to you. Actually, the student loan was paused during the President Trump's administration, but neither here nor there, tomato, tomato. The fact of the matter is they gave you an opportunity for you to be able to pay off your student loan debt. And instead of you taking advantage of that, you decided to breathe. And you know what people did? They went and had a hot girl summer. I've seen more women having a hot girl summer than I've ever seen before in my entire life. More BBLs start popping up. More flights was being taken. More cars was being purchased. More everything. More lipstick. More sheen. Y'all ain't think I knew about sheen, did y'all ladies? You didn't think I knew about sheen. Yes, I fucking know about sheen. You know what sheen is? You know what Fashion Nova is? It's rainbow. I don't know if y'all ever seen them stores Rainbow that was in the mall. It's the reincarnation with Rainbow, except for it's e-commerce. You didn't think I knew about Sheen, did you? I know about fucking Sheen. I got a daughter. I know about Sheen. Amazon killed it during the pandemic. I know all about it. Keep hiding purchases.
at $300 that was paused specifically in loan payments, that was enough to be able to allow for me to pay off my old car. That was enough for me to be able to save a substantial amount of money in order to put a deposit down for this beautiful place that I cohabitate every single day.
So all this support led to actually a very historically good period in the terms of the serious delinquency rate on student loans, on mortgage debt, on auto debt, across all these different debt types.
But concerns over household debt are rising again.
Government did a whole lot of things to help households and help households in debt during COVID. Now, unfortunately, those are all gone.
Think about it, y'all. Think about what's happening, and then let's put it together as far as what I've been communicating and telling you guys about this student loan, 10,000 to 20,000 nipple that they about to give y'all. Put it in perspective. The same exact thing is about to happen as what happened during the pandemic, as what happened when they gave you social workers, when they started giving you food stamps. It didn't actually get you over the hump. It just tethered you back to the government. And so what you thought was relief then becomes normalized. It becomes worse for the general economy because then inflation continues to skyrocket. Everybody has to shoulder the burden that comes along with it. And then instead of you looking at it as an opportunity and taking advantage of this one-time opportunity in a historic lifetime for you to be able to take advantage of the student loan pause and all of this other type of stuff, you then become dependent on it and it becomes something that's normalized for you. So now you don't look at it as an opportunity. You have an expectation. You have an expectation and it's killing you because it's removing your drive. It's removing your own self-sustainability. It's removing your ability to be able to provide for yourself. And now you've become just like those people that were on the movie WALL-E. You're just like the people. Have you ever seen WALL-E? I'm too over this.
Interest rates are starting to rise again. Federal Reserve has already increased interest rates a good deal. They've said they're going to increase interest rates more.
I will tell you how much debt I do owe. Student debt from getting my bachelor's as well as my master's degree. And then I also have debt that I just started accruing in 22, purchasing a car that was unexpected. I have.
This hoe said I paid off my own car, my old car. She already a flatback. You know, flatbacks don't hardly get no play. I'm going to be honest with you. Y'all know what a flatback is? I'm sorry. It ain't a curve in sight on the back of that bag. It's a flatback. That ain't nothing but a pancake. That's a pizza. You ever seen a pizza box? That's a pizza box. She already a flatback. Ain't no guy coming in and taking on that $250,000. She said, yo, I already got a master's degree. And then this hoe went and bought another car. She financed another car.
Debt there, about $10,000 worth of that. And then obviously my mortgage, I owe a little under $200K on my condo.
Most of the debt held by Americans is related to housing, accounting for 72.5% of the total balance. Nearly half of all Americans today say that the availability of affordable housing is a significant problem.
We've seen.
You know the interesting thing about housing, y'all? And again, anybody is welcome. If you have a question or a comment, or you actually disagree with what it is that I'm saying, the link to be able to have that conversation is pinned to the top of the chat as well as in the description. If nobody comes up, then I'm assuming that everybody is doing well here and yet that y'all are part of the bag chasers. No? Okay, cool. The interesting thing about housing is y'all got finessed. Right? And I won't go too deep into the conversation as to how you really got finessed or how you can solve for ensuring that you can write it off, because I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm giving you my own personal experiences. I have to say that. Y'all got finessed with housing because at a very fundamental level, you will never truly own that house. You will never truly own that house. The thing about housing, and the interesting thing about it is, first of all, property taxes will continue to go up regardless of whether or not you paid off the house or not. Secondly, from an investment perspective, you can compare it to rent, but you can only compare it to rent from people that don't look at things from a business perspective, because how I account for what it is that I pay for things is much different than how you account for it. You're not taking in consideration the cost for really living there, property taxes, maintenance, utilities, so on and so forth. And if you really did the math to understand what you're putting into being able to exist in that location, you'll find out that it's actually, once you pay for it, the prices that you pay to be able to sell that house, including real estate fees, put you in a negative. You're paying to live no matter what. But because you've been bamboozled into thinking that, or the government has given you this false sense of security that 30-year mortgage, pay us an egregious amount as far as the interest that you have to pay on the loan, all of this type of stuff, you truly believe that you got over, that you winning over renters. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not going to get into it. Let me go ahead and bring some of y'all up here before we get started. Let's see what we got here. Colin. We got my dog Colin over here. What's up, Colin?
What's up with you, brother?
Chilling, my friend. How you feel?
Man, I'm fantastic. This girl crazy as hell. Why would she buy another car?
Honestly, I think that people genuinely, they believe that they need to have a new car and that it actually saves them money. So they believe that once you start getting into the maintenance costs and all of this other type of stuff, where they'll say, well, my car was having problems and it was breaking down and things like that. They believe that they should be entitled to get a new car, when in reality, it's probably costing them much, much more than infinite for them to keep their little beater or whatever.
Insanity.
I believe so. How else you feel? How you doing this morning, my friend?
Man, I'm fantastic. You know, I got the lady to make me some eggs and grits. You know,
eggs and grits.
So
you don't know nothing about no grits.
Ooh, you a liar.
You don't know nothing about no grits. I don't eat grits, to be honest with you, so I wouldn't know nothing about them either. But I just wanted to see if you knew.
Why you don't eat grits?
I'm not interested, man.
Hey, I do have a question though. Am I really blurry on your end, or?
Yeah, but it's all right. Don't worry about it. You are blurry, but it's okay. So what's your question, my friend?
Well, I didn't necessarily have a question. I just wanted to come on here and, give blessings to the show and let you know that I am also laughing with you at this situation that's going on with everybody.
Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you for tapping in and tuning in. Thank you so much for holding me down. It is a very interesting thing that I see happening in America today, and that the majority of the people that think that they're doing well are falling further and further behind. And I'm not sure if they're just being honest, if they're really being honest with the situation that they're in or the state that they're in, or if they are presenting themselves and saying, hey, listen, I'm actually doing really well in life, but they crying behind closed doors. I think it's a lot of people that's genuinely crying themselves to sleep every night, even if it's not literal. I think it's a lot of people crying themselves to sleep every night, but then they putting on a good front for the general public.
Goddamn. I believe you. I'm with you all the way. I truly believe it.
Yep. So, well, thank you, my friend, for tapping into the platform. I appreciate you, big dog.
I'd love to stay on the platform while you continue your show and talk about this later.
Well, I want to make sure that anybody else that got a question has the opportunity to cam up. Nah, I can't do it for the Millionaire Morning Show. This can't be Fight Club. It'll turn into Fight Club. I have to have some more civility in it throughout the day, my friend.
Respect and many blessings, bro. I appreciate you.
Thank you, my friend. So let me go ahead and get back to the video. And again, if you have a question or you got a comment, you are more than welcome to be able to cam up and have a conversation with me. Let me get to some of these super chats before I get back to the video. Ant Dog. Shout out to Ant Dog, says, join the Patreon over the weekend. Thanks, big dog. Thank you. Hey, can we get a round of applause for Ant Dog for joining the Patreon? Shout out to the big dog. Thank you, Fred Beats, for the $3 Super Bowl. I appreciate you, big dog. Also, my dog Brock is in the building. Says, Wally showed you what it's going to end up looking like. Everybody wait and relying on the robots to do everything for you. Hilarious. That was real. People don't understand that Wally was real. Thank you, Brock. I appreciate you, big dog, for tapping in, my guy. Let me get back to this video. And if, again, the link to be able to cam up is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat.
16.15 trillion.
$10,000 worth of that, and then obviously my mortgage. I owe a little under $200K on my condo.
Most of the debt held by Americans is related to housing, accounting for 72.5% of the total balance. Nearly half of all Americans today say that the availability of affordable housing is a significant problem.
We've seen phenomenal house price growth during the pandemic, and some of that's driven by just supply side constraints, not enough homes to go around.
We also went through a decade where you had to have a 700 plus credit score to qualify for a mortgage. That means that people whose credit scores were not in that strong position were competing for lending dollars that were not easily available and for homes that were not easily available either. So price.
Now, the interesting thing about this conversation is that first they were complaining and saying, well, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me see something. I'll deal with that in a minute. What is happening? Hold on, let me see something really quickly.
Just climbed and climbed.
Meanwhile, student and auto loans comprise most of the non-housing debt, accounting for 35.7% and 33.7% of the total balance.
So non-housing debt, which includes student loans, who knows what other is, credit cards and auto loans. That's insane, man. You know, the interesting thing about this whole thing is that all credit is the gamification to make sure that you qualify for whatever it is that you qualify for. So let's break it down. I'll give you some insight, right? Think about it like this. They're sitting there and they're complaining and they're saying, well, people that don't have a high enough credit score can't qualify for being able to pay for a home that they're probably not going to be able to afford anyway, right? The reality is that that's one of the very things that led to the 2008 housing market crash in the first place. So they want you to ease restrictions and make it more available for you, but at the same time, you don't qualify for it because you still need to be able to show yourself approved to be able to afford the payments in the first place.
College tuition for public four-year institutions rose by 179.2% between 2000 and 2020, with an average increase of 9% each year.
With college education going up and up and up and up and up, it's the difference between spending a few $1,000s, right, for your tuition and borrowing a few $1,000s and a few tens of thousands of dollars. You get a law degree, you get a doctor's degree, you get an MBA, you get a PhD. Now the debt levels are even larger.
When it comes to just living and actually thriving, it's hard for me to say that it was worth it because almost every single day, the stress of money and actually being able to pay off student loan seems so out of reach.
On August 24th, President Biden announced the cancellation of $10,000 in federal student loans.
What? President Biden on August 24th announced the cancellation of a bunch of student loans. He didn't give you enough to actually be able to do anything worthy. They just kept you on the nipple. You know what they did? You know what they did? Wait a fucking minute. What am I looking at? Yo. How is this possible? Hold on. How is this possible? This is insane. Now we about to have a war. Hold on, I got to give y'all some insight on this. This is insane. How? All right, I'm about to bring y'all up to speed on what's going on. Hold on, I just got to pull something up. Y'all gonna want to see this one. Give me a second. I just need to pull this up. How is this possible? So let me do you know DJ Academics filed a copyright strike? Let me pull this down for 1 second. On my fucking video. So I did my recent reaction to Charleston White, right? How can you file a fucking copyright strike when you reacted to my video? It's my fucking original content. Well, it's not a strike. How is this possible? It's my content. Let me show y'all this. Hold on. I got to share my screen with y'all. Look at this shit. It's my fucking video. How can you file for my content? I don't need no fair use. It's mine. I own it. What am I missing here, y'all? What am I missing here? Is this a war? Is this a war? It's my fucking content.
Hold on. Let me find out what the heck is going on here. This is insane. How is it possible for a motherfucker to copyright me because he reacted to my content? This is insane. He better lawyer up. Let me go to this motherfucker site. I need to see what's happening out here in these streets. We're going to mine through this together, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see what's happening. DJ Academics, Dame Dash, Moneybag Yo, how much rappers? I don't even see it. What the fuck is he talking about? It's King Academics. Where's DJ Academics' channel? There we go. I don't see anything. All right, so we're going to have to figure this out. I'm about to get on this ASAP. Listen, nah, this is not happening. Let me read some of these super chats before we continue. Hold on, let me pull it up. How is this motherfucker able to use my stuff? Dispute motherfucker. My original. Let me pull up JC, see what the word is. JC, I'm about to pull you up. I want to get your thoughts on this whole thing, or what your thoughts are in the general sense. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, what's going on, Anton?
Chilling. What's
Yeah,
the
that's what's
word?
up, man. Yeah, dude. I mean, that is funny. It's an unfortunate situation. But it's crazy. My wife and I, we've been talking about this for the past few weeks, and just thinking, to ourselves, like, how is it that people can survive out here? Because I mean, I know not a lot of people are in my type of predicament where my primary home is paid off completely. So I have no mortgage payment or anything of that sort. I don't have no car payment as well. So we're doing pretty good for ourselves. I'm not in the six-figure mark yet. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But the thing is that even for not being in the six-figure mark yet and having, no mortgage payment, no car payment and everything, we still, out there like, let's be frugal about certain things. Let's do this, right? Because it's tight out here, especially here in Miami, and it's just crazy. And then we talked to a few friends of ours that we start realizing, and some of her family members, and they tell us, how it is that they're operating. Like when they go ahead and take vacations, they'll take credit cards out here and there, and then they'll finance it pretty much for 24 months so they can pay it back little by little. So even
So wait a
people's
minute.
vacations are being
They are doing a firm on their vacations. How's that possible?
literally they'll take out a credit card with no interest for about 24 months and go on vacation, put it on the credit card, and then they'll pay back the credit card little by little every single month.
Really? People are doing that in real life?
Yeah, that's
That's
pretty
insane,
much what
bro.
we figured. That's literally what we found out that's happening out there in the streets. That's how people are living. They literally have their whole entire life just financed. Their whole,
Mm.
and I mean it literally their whole entire life just financed. From car, vacation, I wouldn't even be surprised that even their kids' elementary schools will be financed. Man,
That's
it's just
insane,
crazy,
bro. I've
man.
never heard of that before. I didn't even know that you can finance a vacation.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, mind you, just put it on the credit card and then just pay the credit card off little by little and for 2 years with no interest rates or whatever or whatever it is
That's
that they're doing
crazy,
out
bro.
there.
That is absolutely
Yeah,
insane. I've
man.
never heard of that before.
Yep. And you're spot on with the rent, especially here in Miami. I mean, minimum rent right now is about 2,200 minimum
I love Miami.
for an apartment, and that's an apartment. For like a one bedroom is like 2,200. So you're pretty much spending about 24K a year just in rent alone.
Really?
And then yeah, and then if you're not, you're not even counting your car payment with your insurance. That's what the average car payment now is, what, four
So
hundred
what
and
do you what
fifty
do you
dollars a
think the
month.
average is in Miami?
What happened?
What do you think that the average is in Miami?
The average rent
Yeah.
about 22 minimum, 2,200 minimum.
Wow.
Yep, 2,200 minimum,
I don't think that the
especially in my
average
area,
person,
especially in my area.
when the people say the average person, I don't think that the average person is genuinely able to afford to even live in these places anymore.
No, no, they're not. Especially if you're taking into account what they make a year,
Hmm.
which the normal is about 50,000 a year
Hmm.
or so. I mean, it's just they're literally trying to get it out the mud. They're literally just surviving. It's not even living. They're just surviving. It's just a survival instincts of, what's the next step in order to get by, like groceries. Because even grocery, mind you, like for example, I have 4 kids, so our grocery every 2 weeks is about $350 to $400 every
What?
two
What? What? What?
weeks.
What?
For grocery, is about $350 every 2 weeks.
How many kids you got?
For
I couldn't do it, bro.
our groceries, 350 every 2 weeks. So we're there, and no biggie for us, but it's mind-boggling. I'm like, yo, how are people like living? You brought up a good point. Like, are people literally crying themselves to sleep at night?
Hmm.
Because I know you were being metaphorical, but I honestly think that in some cases it's not metaphorical.
Hmm.
It's not metaphorical,
Yeah, I'm not. I don't.
and I'm thankful for the game that, no lie, I'm super thankful for the game and the networking opportunities that the Patreon has given me, because man, those student loans,
Yeah,
going to
that's
college
a
for a
killer,
bachelor
bro.
we've been doing,
It's a
that
killer.
I ended up finessing the game. Look, check this. I'm not saying how. I'm not saying how, because that's Patreon level, because I got it from the network and I pay in the Patreon. But yo, look, how is it possible that I'm pretty much starting school this week, right, on Thursday, for a bachelor's in cybersecurity,
Uh-huh.
and I'm getting and I'm literally having it for $0, $0. I don't have to pay anything out of pocket, nothing at all. No student loans, that no nothing. I get a free ride for a bachelor's degrees, including with the certifications, for a bachelor's in cybersecurity for $0,
That's what's up, my
literally.
friend. I
So
like
it's
that.
like there's ways to finesse the game legally. You just gotta have the knowledge and the networking for people to inform you about these things. Which a lot of people don't understand, that the Patreon is more for the networking than it is for anything else. And I mean, I'm thankful for the game, because without it, I'll probably be one of those statistics right now in that
No,
video
you
of
wouldn't.
having 100
You would have found me eventually, and we'd be rocking.
facts.
All right.
Facts. But yeah, those are just that's facts. That's facts. Because man, Because, dude, I don't know. I mean, that's just my 2 cents on what's happening. Just wanted to share, what's been happening out here, especially in Miami, how people are just financing their vacations, financing their whole entire life away. And it's real. It's real out here.
Thank you, my
There's
friend,
no
for
joke.
coming in and tapping in, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah. No, most definitely, man.
All right. I'll see you, Jason.
Yeah. Yo.
So before I come to anybody else, let me see. Give me a second. Let me see something. What part of the game is this? Let me share with y'all what I'm looking at. This ain't even DJ Academic's page. It's somebody that posted what he said or what he was doing in my video.
Oh shit! Oh, I want to watch this. It's my last one. I'm getting off. Charleston White said he ran into Meek Mill and 50 goons at MGM Grand, Detroit. Here's this.
You're right there. Just an ugly.
He looking at my fucking video. Who does this? Those is my fucking shoes over there. Oh my gosh. What part of the game is this? This can't be right. Claimed by Andrev affiliate. Motherfucker didn't even. Let me get a pause on this. Give me a second, y'all. Because this angers me. This angers me a lot. Let me pull y'all up. I'm gonna come to you, Blacks Who Defy next. I'm coming to you next, big dog. What's going on, fam?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Chilling.
Man, I feel your pain. People stealing from you is never a good feeling.
I don't care if nobody used my video, but you can't copyright me on my own stuff.
Yeah, man, that's theft. Especially you created it. So, but as it pertains to these rents, evictions and things like that, you saw the writing on the wall 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You said it. You said this. You said it was going to happen.
I did.
And many others have said it was going to happen. People ignored it because they wanted fast, loose, and quick money. And there's always a consequence to that, because anything given, you don't appreciate it, especially if you don't have a mind to use what was given to you to create wealth. And most people don't do that. I'd say about 90% of the people who are given gifts don't reinvest them. They just spend it on some trinketry, and then we're right back in the position that we started.
Mm-hmm.
Median rent here, I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth area. Median rent out here, man, is $2,100. And like the gentleman before me
in the
said,
Dallas Fort Worth area is $2,100 the median rent.
Median rent $2,100. And I mean, here you can get a lot more bang for your buck than you could in a place like Chicago. Say again?
Not for long.
Oh yeah. Not for long. It's fastly becoming more Midwest-esque. I'm from Chicago, so
everybody from California is moving down to Texas.
Yes, they are. And it's
a lot of people from New York is moving down to Texas also.
Yep. I run into them every day from New Jersey, from Chicago, from Ohio, from California, especially. Yeah, the shift is happening. It's gonna happen, and I'll be here for a little while longer, and then I'll be rolling. But the point is that a lot of people, again, are just bottom feeders, and they don't have any, soft skills, no hard skills to propel them to the future. I mean, I know you do Patreon things, and I know you do, all types of sessions with people that you give them game, especially if they're part of your Patreon. But I'll tell you, man, some of the stuff you say just off GP is just gold, and people just, it goes right over their head, just right over their head. And I'm like, man, he's telling you.
Listen,
You know?
most of the things that I tell people, they just take it like it's gossip. They take it like it's a Wendy Williams story, and I'm telling them and I'm giving them the game on what's about to happen to them, and they have no clue, and they're not taking it serious. Let me tell you what's about to start happening.
All right.
People think that they're going to start moving over into cheaper places.
Nope.
They're going to move into what they would identify as some of the most undesirable places. Right?
Yeah.
And they're going to move all into the middle of America. They're going to cluster all in that middle part.
Yeah.
And eventually that's going to become unaffordable also. And so
happening.
People think that they can run. There's nowhere that you can run. It's just going to be, it's going to close in on you. It's going to suffocate you. And your kids are going to be the ones that suffer the most. That's just real.
Man, look, what you just said is gold, because in Chicago right now, where I went to high school, they are building the largest golf course from Chicago to Indiana in the freaking world, or in the country. In the country. It's all prime lakefront land, and it's common knowledge, right? And it's going through all the areas where all the black people live and don't own any of it, right? They don't own any of it. It's all Section 8. Nobody owns any of those buildings, and the people who have owned those buildings, aka the Jews who own those buildings for 100 years, are just capitalizing.
Yep.
And grandma
to buy everything.
Yes, and grandma and granddaddy who owned homes, who did buy homes in that area, and then they died off, and then their children's children took over, and the houses became dilapidated, and they sold it or let it go into foreclosure. It's just, they don't gain either, because they were foolish. They weren't good stewards of what they had. And then Barack Obama's presidential museum is going across the street from Hyde Park High School, which Hyde Park is
Where's this presidential museum being built at?
In Chicago, right down the street from where I went to high school, on, I think it's Stony Island, right across the street from Hyde Park High School, a high school that, it's infamous. It's right next to, I can't remember, another high school that the Falcons quarterback back in the day went to. What's his name? Back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I can't remember his name right now. But a whole bunch of football phenoms went there. But the point that I'm making is that that's where Barack Obama was at. He was in Hyde Park, and a lot of, Jesse Jackson's in Hyde Park, all these people. And it's a mishmash of black people and white people who live there. And now that land has become prime real estate, even more so because he's building that huge presidential museum there.
Yep.
I'm telling people, and I'm like, it's common knowledge, because there are boards. Like you said, I remember one episode you had delineated that you are always involved in what goes on in your city.
Yeah.
You always go to the meetings. You always apprise yourself of what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes, man. It's not secret. Nobody's holding you down. Nobody's trying to deceive you. It's right there. They just know that you're not going to show up.
That is true.
That's it.
Yeah, because the things that is best for people, very rarely do they ever actually do that thing. When you give people an option to choose for themselves, more often than not, they don't.
Man, you're so right. And I wanted to just touch on the student loan forgiveness thing. I'm like, are you guys fools? I see people. I watched a couple of the episodes, guys arguing with you, talking about how it's a good thing, and you're just giving them statistics. And I'm going to bat for you in the chats. I'm like, man, I'm like, the guy.
Because you got to remember that when people talk about student loans, or when they talk about any kind of thing, right, from a financial perspective, the only thing they care about is what affects them.
Yes.
They don't care about the overall view and how they care about what they think is playing into what affects them. But the reality is that they're not actually paying attention to how overall their kids are going to suffer as a result of it, and how they're being tethered to the federal government and they nipple and all of this other type of stuff. So it's it's a difficult thing to navigate, but I think that it's very, very interesting.
Man, interesting indeed. Just shortly, when I was in college, now I can't even believe it, almost 20 years ago, I remember I was a junior in college. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, why am I going for a basket weaving degree? You know what I mean? Like the equivalent of a basket weaving degree. And I'm like, why am I here? You know, I was at Chicago State at the time. Then I was about to have a daughter. I was getting married, and I'm 21 years old. And I'm like, my God, I got to get out of here. I'm like, so I was already in ROTC. So ROTC was already paying for college, but then I still had some student loans from when I, you know, had started at my beginning of my college career.
Right.
So then I was like, forget it. I'm just going to join the Army. They say they're going to pay off what loans I have. I'll give my time to the United States military. And I came in there with a plan, and I came out of there having executed my plan.
Yep.
That's my point. People got to have the intelligence to pivot. You don't need to stay where you are, man. You don't have to be there. People tell me all the time, "Oh man, you did something that 90% of black people can't do." I said, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, I joined the United States military and finished what I needed to finish. They paid for it all. I'm like, and there was no secret. They were advertising it. They said, "Hey man, come do this. We will foot the bill." You know, if
the
you want to be a
military is
doctor,
actually having a recruiting crisis right now.
yes, they are handing out money right now. I tell
they
people
are.
all the time, man. This one cat, he's about 18 years old, got a daughter. He lives in my community, black guy. He asked me, he knew I was a veteran, and he asked me about the military. I gave him game. He went and joined. You know, he didn't even make it through basic training. You want to know why? Because his baby mama wanted him to come home.
That's crazy.
His baby mama wanted him to come home, and he couldn't deal with it. He came home on a Christmas break, and I saw him. I'm saying, "Man, you doing good?" He said, "Yeah." Then a couple months later, I'm talking to the grandmother. She said, "Yeah, he never went back. He just stayed here." And you know where he went? He went to go get a basket weaving degree. He went to Arizona to go learn how to DJ and engineer. I'm like, you can't make it up. You can't make it up. The government is literally, if you're talking about handouts, the government is literally telling you, you do 3 years with me. You look, man, I'm gonna tell a little secret. You're not gonna see battle unless you are going into one of these special forces jobs in the United States military, or you have a really prime position that requires you to be on the front line. Other than that, you're not going to see battle, man. People don't like the unknown, unfortunately. I jump headlong into the unknown, especially if I know it's going to benefit me. So, yeah, I have nothing but smoke for fools who sow false and misinformation about finances and about how you can proceed through life and be successful.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you for that.
Spiel, man. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, my friend. So we're going to go to your founder next. But before we go to your founder, let me give y'all a little bit of an update on what's going on. So first of all, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Obviously, you can see what it does. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And then in addition to that, if you need to kick it with me personally, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com and we're going to get you taken care of. I'm going to bring up your founder next, but I want to get to these super chats first. Big Pete says, good morning, Anton. Have a good day. Thank you, Big Pete. I appreciate you. Sean Reed says, shout out to you and Black Heights for giving $1 million game for the price of a gym membership. Shout out to my dog, Black Heights. I love Black Heights. That's my guy. Anthony Garner says, what up? Average car note is the average car note $648 a month? I'd be interested in finding out exactly what the percentage, the interest rate is also. Johnny says, what are the top 3 cities for intelligent black men? Wherever you at. Wherever you at. And let me also tell you this, Johnny. Don't look to align yourself with people just because of the color of their skin, because you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities because of that. Be careful with that. But I don't know exactly. Alvin S says the hate is real from DJ A. On your way to ATL, you reviewed the Charleston White interview from DJ A with DJ A. I don't think it's from Charleston White. So that's what I was going to tell y'all. So another update is that I don't believe it's from him. I believe it was from somebody that recorded his Twitch stream, and then dropped his Twitch stream, and then they filed for it so that they can try to get the revenue off of the videos that I drop on my channel. It's a finesse. It's a scam. YouTube need to make sure that they take care of that junk, because too many people put in too much hard work and too many resources in order to ensure that things are successful. Asia McMillan says, I booked a flight to Vegas for free and saw that a firm was an option. I was floored. Wow, I didn't know that. I'm too far removed from the struggle, but yeah, nah. I didn't know that y'all can you can finance anything now then. Jesus Christ. That's insane. But yeah, I think that it's not a courtesy of DJ Academics. I just went through my email and I looked at whoever it was. Let me break it down. I'll show y'all. So I'll show y'all what I'm looking at. It's not DJ A. Let me close that out. So this is the person that they saying that it's from. So it's not a strike. It's not a strike at all. It's somebody is trying to steal some money and scam some money. So we already filed it and everything is fine. But basically they saying that the video title, copyrighted content, DJ Academics reacts to, so they just named the video that DJ Academics reacts to Charleston White explaining how he ran into Meek Mill and the Young Bulls. Claimed by Andreev Affiliate. I don't know who owns Andreev Affiliate, but you will never get a dime from me. And not only that, I'm coming for your head. All right. So that's really what's happening. New scam uncovered on YouTube Live. You know, Anton is always willing to have that conversation. So listen, y'all. And this is another thing. I had to be careful because I thought it was DJ Academics because his name was in the title. In reality, it was some fuckboy that's trying to steal money. So anyway, scamming is still alive and well. But like Charleston White, I'm going to hunt them down and I'm going to find out who they are because I'm snitching. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys, again, tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let me get up my guy, your founder, and see what's happening. Let me see what the founders is talking about. Hey, what the heck is going on? Hold on, your founder. I'm going to get you up here. Oh, here it is. All right, so we had to re-expand it to make sure that you out here in these streets, my dog. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, how's it going?
Chilling. How you feel?
I'm blessed.
You and I both. How you doing?
I'm good. Just chilling. It's a happy Monday. Can't complain.
Yeah.
So
what
I
are your
wanted to
thoughts?
shout out the Patreon and the other bag chasers in there. So
shout out to the bag chasers.
Yeah. So yeah, this was an interesting reaction video. When I seen $240,000 in debt, immediately I was thinking, okay, there's got to be a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
It got to be a doctor.
No. No lawyers, no doctor, social worker.
Yeah. So that's crazy. And this is coming from somebody who has 3 degrees and also is not in any debt. So no debt myself. And I kind of followed a little bit of your steps prior to coming across the channel when it comes to like junior college, choosing the correct undergrad, and then using your employer to pay for your master's.
So you went to basically community college, and there's another word for it.
Yes. Community college. Went to community college. I was there for.
And then you transferred. Did you have any debt when you came out of community college?
No, but I did have about $18,000 that I had to spend for undergrad. So I paid out of pocket.
Okay. So basically you came out of school with practically no debt.
Yeah, I came out of community college with no debt. I used the money that I saved as a part-time shoe salesman to pay for undergrad. And that money that I paid for undergrad helped me get to my first full-time job 2 days after graduation.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Congratulations, my friend. What did you go into, if you don't mind me asking? What did you study?
So I went Department of Technology, The major is graphic communication with a focus on web content management. So basically, web development.
I like that.
It was all HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java to the back end.
So you practically came out with no debt then?
No, I had no debt. No.
And how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Hey, he just laughed at y'all. I love that, yo. I love it. I think that that's absolutely phenomenal. But see, you know what the funny thing is about that? They laughed at me when I said I went to community college.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. Same here.
They laughed at me.
We got to be honest with ourselves. There's a lot of people that they know about community college. They know about the benefits of going there, but they don't want to miss out the experience of freshman and sophomore year in a university.
Then go up there on the weekend and party with your homeboy. That's what I did. I went up there on the weekend with the homies. We partied. We had a good time. And then I went right back home and I went to community college and they was racking up the debt and I was chilling.
Yeah.
I was chilling. Yeah. I went up there on the weekend. This is insane. That is insane, bro.
No, I agree with you. It's insane, but that's just where we're at. And with regards to the topic, the secondary topic, which is the $10,000, I don't know if it's a stipend or a refund.
You're talking about the loan forgiveness?
Yeah. I don't care that much about the loan. If they're giving a forgiveness for the loan, I don't really care. I'm cool with it. I think a lot of people are struggling, and it'd be great for them to be able to have some type of incentives or a means of getting back to the norm. My only caveat to that is there's also people who don't qualify for the debt who pay out of pocket. Not myself. I'm talking about those who are making, less than 80K, less than 70, that paid for college by getting a part-time job, 3 to 2 different part-time jobs, and got themselves out of debt. And now that they got themselves out of debt years ago, they don't get to reap the benefits of what's going on today. So,
but the problem with it is that it doesn't solve for the problem. It just adds to the national debt. Let's assume that we don't care about the national debt. We don't care about inflation. We don't care about any of that, right? For a lot of these people, and the sentiment that I see when I go out and I look across the internet is that people are saying, oh, cool, now I can go party and I can take a vacation and I don't have to work as hard and I don't have to grind or whatever. But again, it doesn't solve for the problem because the next generation and even them, because a lot of them is not going to be completely out of debt, right? It doesn't actually help them to become a better version of themselves or give them any kind of relief. It's just a temporary opportunity for them to buy votes. So I can see through it. From my perspective, I think that it was just an opportunity for them to try to salvage the presidency because inflation is running out of control and rent is running out of control and all of these other type of things. And so it was an opportunity for them to say, yeah, he did something. He delivered on what he said he was going to do. We should vote for him again. I don't see the actual benefit at all. It doesn't give you change behavior. People still gonna be able to go into basket weaving degrees. They still gonna go into liberal arts. They still gonna get dance degrees. They still gonna go into social work and get $250,000 in debt. It doesn't change anything. All it does is set a precedent for entitlement instead of changed behavior.
Yeah, I mean, you have a point with that. And there's certain points that are outside of STEM that doesn't necessarily make sense to get. However, there are people that take those majors and become entrepreneurs with that, they learn in school.
Yeah.
And they can succeed that way. But no, I do agree with you on that. I'm more so saying if we're going to give out money to those that haven't paid out the debt, those that paid out the debt while having a household, a decent sized family, are also deserving of some type of.
Not going to happen, dog. You can forget it. And if you make over $125,000 a year, you don't qualify. Even if you did qualify, you don't qualify.
No, I'm good. I don't need the assistance. I'm talking about for other people.
And the thing that I always emphasize to people though is that you want to be in a position to where you want to be thankful that you're not in that position anyway, because obviously you're moving differently and it's actually more beneficial to you to have the mindset to get to the point that you at in the first place. I'd rather surround myself with people that is not looking for a handout than people that are. Because people that's not looking for a handout are in a position to actually be able to network with effectively. Versus people that's looking for a handout, obviously you can't do nothing for nobody because you need to solve for your own situation.
Yeah.
So, all right, my friend, I thank you. Make sure you come back, man. I love what you got going on over there, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, I definitely will. I will also say I sent an email out to you, so I'm gonna send another one after this call.
Okay. All right, I got you.
All right,
All right, my friend. I'm gonna bring up Khalil. K Dot. What up, K Dot? What up, Khalil? Can you hear me, Khalil? Khalil, you there? Khalil.
Oh, hello.
What's up, Khalil? You all right?
Hey, how you doing? It's been a while
Chilling, my friend. How you feel?
I'm doing great. I was just on the phone with some money actually.
Okay, well,
But
at least you was getting to the money.
Huh?
At least you was getting to the money.
Oh, I'm always getting to the money, but I want to talk about the student loan thing. So
all right, give me the game.
I think it's actually
thoughts?
a good policy.
You think it's a good policy?
The reason I think it's a good policy is because due to COVID, a lot of people aren't going to make the lifetime earnings that they were going to earn. So if
because
this is
of COVID, they not, you saying?
Or on a wide scale, if you know what I mean.
So you saying that because people are not going to make a lot of money in their lifetime, that they should be forgiven for the decisions that they made?
Or it would be not necessarily forgiven, but there has been a loss of, I could say, earning potential for a lot of people because the government did stop people from working. So the government should do things like a stimulus check and this loan forgiveness thing.
But they paused the payments on a loan and they paused the interest, and they even got it paused even all the way up until the end of this year, almost 3 years by now, for you to actually get yourself back together. So you wasn't getting interest back on your loan. You wasn't being charged for it. As a matter of fact, you had more job opportunities and there are more jobs than ever before out there. 3.6% unemployment rate, which is the lowest, one of the lowest in history. And people have an opportunity to be able to pay their stuff off. Why should they be forgiven? You got more opportunity than ever.
I do. I'm not the type to say I'm good. You feel me? Like I put in the work to make sure I'm good since the last time we spoke. But what I'm saying is that there's people who need it, who were making the moves they were supposed to make before the pandemic, had the
no, they wasn't. They was falling into debt even worse before the
right?
pandemic. They was falling into debt even worse than they was before the pandemic. They wasn't making no moves.
I mean, look, I agree with you that there's no excuse for not making moves, and there's really no excuse for not paying your loan. I went to a small college, full scholarship and all of that. But I will say that there is I mean, if the government is shutting you down from working and
temporarily, and you were compensated from that
forever, even if it was temporarily, could you agree with that? If you were doing something, I mean, so you're saying that no change has happened in your life?
In my life?
The pandemic. Or let's say in general American society.
No, you want to use me as an example?
Well, I want to use general American society.
Why you don't want to use me?
Outlier, aren't you?
Why you don't want to use me?
The rich got richer. So what happened to the people
who
aren't rich?
And you know what my percentage, what I made on my portfolio?
What you made?
78% return that year that the pandemic hit. I've never done that in my entire life. That was the craziest thing I've ever done. I did a 78% return on my portfolio that year. That's insane. Amazing. I don't ever expect to do that again.
And I could say I went from $15 an hour to $50 in my.
So what we talking about then?
So it's not about me though. It's about everybody else who may have not.
Most of my bag chasers is winning. Almost everybody that's a bag chaser that was with me from the beginning, they doubled and tripled their salary. What you talking about?
I tripled mine since I last talked to you. So
what we talking about then? Why we need a handout if we killing it?
Because there's some America has 330 million people.
Okay.
Just because the bag chasers are doing well doesn't mean that this pandemic hasn't affected people negatively for
Okay,
a
so
long
cool.
period
Let's play it
of time.
like this. So, how many more handouts are we gonna give before we done? When we gonna turn the faucet off? Let's assume
They're turning
let's
the
assume that
faucet
you're
off in
right, in which I don't
2023, right?
necessarily agree with it, but let's assume that you're right. At what point do you turn the faucet off?
They're turning it off in 2023. 3
When?
years.
Who?
Isn't that when payments resume? Started
Is that the
2023?
faucet off? Because there's always going to be more handouts. It's always going to be more STEMIs. It's always going to be something else. It's always going to be another forgiveness. It's always going to be another protest. It's always going to be another advocate group. It's always going to be something else. When are we going to cut the faucet off? At what point are people going to be sufficient enough to be able to take care of themselves? Or do we need daddy to continue to make sure that we're taken care of?
I mean, in a sense, if you work a job, you need daddy to take care of you anyway. So we're all
If you
dependent
work
on
a job,
right?
you need daddy to take care of you. No, you're giving work for services rendered. You're being paid for services rendered. How is that daddy? That's actually the thing that we advocate for. That's the American way. I'm working and I'm being compensated for the work that I put in with money. I don't really understand how you figure that's daddy.
Like, I'm really trying to play devil's advocate because it doesn't
Not
affect
working,
me,
buddy.
this whole thing. Huh?
Not working here.
But what I will say, like seriously, real seriously about student loan debt, like imagine if you were graduating in 2019 or something.
Mm-hmm.
You get your first entry level job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're trying to build that experience. You're trying to work. You're trying to contribute to America.
No, you're trying to contribute to yourself, but okay.
Or contribute to the society with your taxes. Because
No,
the
you
more we
contributing
make,
to
the more we
yourself, but go
contribute,
ahead.
right?
I got you.
So the man or woman gets fired within their first 6 months, and let's say they struggle for a year and a half to 2 years, or
Sounds
even
like
6
just regular
months.
life. People didn't got laid off and struggle all the time. Get another fucking job.
But
It's
they got laid
3.6%.
off.
Okay,
But
it's
they got laid off
3.6% unemployment. Go get another job.
But the government laid them off. So shouldn't the government compensate them?
No. That's what unemployment
No.
insurance is for.
Unemployment. People.
Do you
did
know
get
that
paid.
employers pay into that? I pay into that. I pay for that for my employees. A lot of people don't understand that. That's a part of my payroll taxes.
I completely understand that, and it does.
Why you
count
want these
for-
people to run in the Victim Olympics? You trying to
I
make
don't
sure
want
that
them to run into Victim Olympics
I don't like it.
necessarily, but we all got help from society to be where we're at. So, hey,
undeserving, so we need to be thankful for it and stop acting like it's an entitlement.
I mean, if Elon Musk can pay zero taxes, why can't the working man get something?
Elon
for his
Musk
tax
this
money?
past year paid more taxes than any other human being in history.
Well, he's
That's
made
a
more
fact.
money than any other human being in history
Because
so
he
shouldn't he pay more
took a
taxes?
risk and he offered a product and he almost went broke and lost everything that he ever made in his entire life. He took a risk and he
Elon
built a
Musk is
business that
government
also employs
subsidized.
Americans every single day. You're not
What
gonna
risk
penalize
was
me
he
for being
paid
wait.
by the government to make Teslas?
You're not gonna penalize me for being successful.
He was subsidized to be successful by the
He
US
was not
government.
subsidized to
Even
be
Trump said
successful.
that.
He is
So
very much.
why
Let
can't the
me
government
tell you who
subsidize-
Elon Musk is. Let me tell you who Elon Musk is. He is very much responsible for us cutting off, hopefully at some time in the near future, our dependence on foreign oil in order for us to be able to get back and forth to work every day. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't see this foundation that we have today and all of these electric chargers that's out here. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have fucking PayPal. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be having this electric car revolution because GM killed it back in the 90s. They said it wasn't profitable enough. If it wasn't for him, he actually gave out all of his sketches, all of his blueprints, all of his foundational work to other automakers in order to inspire them and incentivize them to actually take on the same mantle that he took on. And why shouldn't he be compensated for that?
So you're agreeing that a government subsidy can lead to good things, right? Is that what you're agreeing to? Because Elon Musk is almost the most subsidized person in U.S. history.
He absolutely is not. He
He's
actually
bankrolled by
saves the government
to
money.
make those. So
He
why can't
actually saves the government
bankroll
money
people to buy
he
houses or
actually
something.
saves the government money because usually what the government would do is they would send out research and development grants. They send them out to your universities. They subsidize NASA. NASA has never made money, ever, right? But Elon Musk created SpaceX, which actually reduced the government's reliance on the taxpayer in order to ensure that we're doing all of these things that we're doing today. And so actually he's innovative and he saved the government money. And more importantly, your favorite automakers are still getting $7,500 tax incentives for you to be able to buy an electric car. And Elon Musk doesn't. And more importantly, Elon Musk made more billionaires over the last 10 years than probably any other company. You had an opportunity to invest in Tesla too.
That's 100% correct. But what I'm saying is that you have said pretty much that the government is investing money into Elon because he saved some money. What I'm saying is that these student loan breaks, let's say for the kid who was getting fired after
That's a social worker.
Huh?
That's a social worker, or they ran in the Victim Olympics and got a basket weaving degree.
But let me finish, Anton.
We talked to a young guy that got a fashion degree the other day. A fucking fashion degree.
No, that's ridiculous. But hear me out, Anton. Hear me out. Please hear me out. Let me finish this
Okay,
point.
I'm sorry.
So I'm saying
you ran Rod's time out because Rod wanted to jump on the panel too, but it's okay, Rod. I'm gonna get you next time. All right, big dog.
I couldn't hang up.
It's cool. No. Go ahead. Finish making your point.
No,
you're gonna be the last caller for the day.
All right. So what I'm saying is pretty much, okay, the government is forgiving a lot of these loans, so these same people can have the credit scores to buy houses to put more money in the economy, right? Which is part of what Biden said in his package. So the same way the government put money into Tesla to get a return, they're putting money in the United States populace to buy these overpriced houses to get a return at the end of the day.
No, what he's doing, and this is where you're wrong. He's tethering you to the government because they understand that you continuing to put up debt. They're actually incentivizing you to do the worst for yourself.
How? When people are out of debt, how are you tethering yourself?
They're not out of debt. Listen, I just did a whole video. That literally highlights how Americans are more in debt than they've ever been in their entire life. How?
Well, they're partially in debt because we subsidize.
No. You just said that they were out of debt. You said that they were getting out of debt, and they're not. All of those stimulus checks, and everything that's been done over the past 3 years has actually incentivized people to do the thing that's not in their best interest. They're more in debt than ever before. And not only that, we threw on inflation and we fucked up the currency and we messed up all of the money on top of that. So now that we got this compounding, these compounding problems. Now that we got these compounding problems and we have the highest national debt in history. Tell me how to wait. Now that we got all of these compounding problems and the highest national debt in history, tell me how that helped people.
I'm talking about this policy of student loan debt. I don't agree with the massive stimulus and PPPs, which probably took more money than the stimulus checks that people are getting written off for. So what I'm saying is that this policy, 50% of people are going to be out of student loan debt. They have more money to put into the economy. When you put money into the proletariat,
it's going to be a lot of weaving and sandling up, my friend.
Right?
It's going to be a lot of weaving and sandling it up. It's going to be more BBLs than we've ever seen before.
But it's going to be more houses bought too. Watch how this works.
People can't afford to buy. It's a housing recession. Let me show you this article really quickly. Let me show you what's no. Because I don't really think you understand what's happening here. Let me show you what's happening to the housing market. Okay, we're gonna share this together. We're gonna look at this together as a group. You and I together. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
All right, cool. Let me show you what's happening with the housing market. The housing market is in a recession and what it means for home buyers. This is what's happening. Okay, let me continue. This is written August 29th. In a matter of months, the pandemic's red-hot housing market has chilled, recently entering what some economists have called a housing recession. The slowdown will continue I'm sorry, the slowdown will contribute negatively to the economy. Negatively. This is not a positive thing. It's a negative thing. But what could present opportunities for some home buyers who can stomach high prices. Now, you help me to understand how that actually benefits us.
What I'm saying is that because it's slowing down, this is like a stimulus for people to buy homes. Because if you take off the debt that
they're raising the rates in order to fight inflation.
Affecting their credit for them not to buy a house. So
they're raising rates in order to try to stem inflation, which is one of the contributing factors of you continuing to forgive these student loans. Now, help me to understand how people are going to be able to afford more houses.
Because their credit score is higher, a lot of people cannot buy the house because of their student loan debt. If that gets erased and all they got is a little car payment and no credit card bills or nothing like that, they'll be able to qualify for the loans they need to get inside of the house. They can refinance later. But for a lot of college educated people who are making the money, they cannot qualify due to credit score, and them getting rid of student loans for 50% of borrowers will increase credit scores across the board.
You're wrong, my friend.
And Anton, I want to say I need to call you. I need to set up a session with you. I'll email you.
You do.
Absolutely.
I gotta jump on this meeting for work, my friend.
All right, you take care, Anton.
I gotta make sure that I'm not running in the Victim Olympics. Y'all are insane out here in these streets. Insane. What is that, Rita? Salad for who? I'm on the new carnivore diet. See this? I'm on the new carnivore diet. I don't need no salads. Let's see. This got strawberries, vegetables, beans, blue cheese. This looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. All right, so I guess I got to eat like a rabbit today. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Anton is... Oh, let me get to these super chats because I know Pharma DAs. Oh, and also Corey Houston. Thank you. Said $3 for today's content. Thank you, Corey. Pharma DA says, went back and reread Biden's plan. It's not enough. I think you trolling, Pharma. I genuinely think you trolling. C says, shoot your shot request in the chat. Oh, snaps. Who's shooting a shot in the chat? What's going on in the chat today? Make it make sense says, shout out to the channel. Been watching you for a few months now. Can't really catch your lives, but love the content and info you have. Thank you, my friend. Alpha Kings just said, just join the Patreon. Shout out to all of the bag chasers that's joining the Patreon today. Get into that bag. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. If you need to kick it with me personally, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. I'm about to eat like a rabbit. Oh, man. Anton is out here trying to make sure that I get my girlish figure together. We are going to be posting some new posts on the page. Rita, do you know that somebody copyrighted my video to try to take the monetization from my video from Charleston White? Trying to say like it was their content. Yeah, it's crazy out here in these streets. Anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be rich by ourselves, and we certainly don't want to be running in the Victim Olympics. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Q&A tonight at 9 Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. I got a good subject for y'all tonight. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.